So there's a few number 3 wrecked wings. There's a few 7Ts.
Hey, those aren't wrecked.
What are they? Are they filed?
No, those are actually those are dish wings there that I don't use anymore. But there's a couple wrecked ones over there too. You just gotta
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I see what you just did then. So this is most of the Phillips family, because there are actually 3 very intelligent girls that are not here. So
they're the smart ones.
yeah, so you made really beautiful brainy babies, and then you made 3 boys.
Yep.
Right. So tell me about your other children.
Our oldest daughter is Tisha. She is a surgeon.
In California?
In California. They moved to California.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll move back soon.
Yep.
And then we have Natalie.
Yep.
And she lives over at Knoxville. She is a physician's assistant, and she's married to a farmer.
Yep.
And then there is Carly, and she is an administrative judge.
So you've got 2 people in the medical profession, elite medical profession, then elite legal position.
Well, she said she would always represent them if anything happened.
Well, if anybody was ever to be in trouble in this family, 6 kids.
Yes.
How did you have time for that?
It all worked out.
You just had to make staff for the
They're all at
farm.
least 4 years apart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
And there's a downside to having those intelligent girls. They can get together and have me committed.
Has that ever happened yet? Have you?
Well, they might have threatened it once or twice.
Yeah, there's been no intervention that you're aware
The
of.
the doctor would say that I'm gone, and the judge might arrange it to get me put away. Whatever.
Where did racing passion come for in this family? Like, where did it start?
We both liked it.
Okay. Did you do it, or you just liked it?
My dad didn't have enough money to help me get started. You know, I would have loved to have done it, but just wasn't enough money.
Yep.
Yeah, I did motorcycles.
Okay.
Ask her about that.
You race motorcycles?
Well, very briefly, very
Really?
briefly, yes.
Like what kind?
It was Elsinore.
Motocross.
Yeah, motocross.
I motocrossed a little bit too.
And then it had to be either did I want a
About
Davenport
100
or
pounds
a
ago.
motorcycle, and I guess I wanted a Davenport, so I gave up my motorcycle.
Did any of the girls want to race?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Which
No,
proves
they-
again that they're the smartest.
They were sensible.
Yeah.
And foot are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did the lead foot bit come from? Both of you, or?
It's genetic.
For some reason, Allie, you were looking at Mum just then, right? You were like,
She doesn't have the tickets to prove it, but she's the worst.
Cruise control is her thing now.
really? Okay. So, Rhaegar, how long have it been since you've raced?
Since I raced, 3 years roughly.
Introduce me to your beautiful little family here.
This is June.
Hi, Junebug.
She'll be a year and a half old, and then we got Bo running around here somewhere.
Yep.
3. And then I got an 8-year-old too. So
You met at the birthday party.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Who's in charge of corralling these children, young lady? Yeah.
Me, but he sometimes likes to take the credit.
Oh, yeah. Like all good men do. How long have you been loving sprint car racing? Since you were born, or?
since I was born, he helped on a crew that traveled with the All Stars, just very low buck, or not the greatest team, but it allowed us to travel and see that'd have been Kenny Jacobs, Dean Jacobs, all those guys.
Yeah.
So very good time. I think Blaney was even there before he went to NASCAR. So
Yep.
actually, in that time period, I would have called him equal caliber to the Outlaw type of deal. I mean,
Yep.
it was just that
Yep.
good at racing. So not necessarily the greatest team to follow when we were doing that, but allowed a lot of opportunities to go watch a lot of racing out in Ohio and wherever the All-Star guys go. So,
Yeah.
and that was at a young age, so
Yeah, right.
kind of built a passion there. So.
Do you miss driving?
Yeah. But then we got these little shits running around, so you only got so much time to do so many things.
Exactly. Did
And
you know?
you can have fun going and working on cars too. So
But he does still fit in his racing suit. Just tried it on not too long ago.
What-
Just in case.
what-
There's still hope.
Was that like a little bedroom thing? I'll just try the suit
Oh,
on again, honey.
it might be. It might turn into that. I don't know. You never know with us.
Wow. Tell me about your brothers. Like, what qualities do they have as drivers that are different to each other?
Sawyer's the more consistent one of the bunch. Tasker's the more go for it of the bunch.
Yep.
Which, when you go for it, it can be one of 2 directions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But both different and both good in their own way.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So tell me about that guy. He's a pretty handy racer, Tasker, right?
Better mechanic or crew chief than driver.
Okay. So you're saying he's a bad driver?
No, it's just he knows what's going on with the car. That was probably his problem. He's more focused on what the car needed and what it was doing than actually just driving.
Yeah.
So he was more crew chief material.
Look at these two back here.
He's like, our son's about to escape, so.
What is going on back there, you guys?
We're adjusting a planner.
I was open the door. Like, oh my gosh. Tasker, were you always going to race? Was that always your plan?
Oh, just go with the flow. We'll figure it out.
He had a ride when he was 14 years old, and they used to come to the middle school and pick him up to go racing.
Wow. Really?
305s,
Okay.
yeah.
Wow. So in the middle of school, like you didn't finish the school, they come and got you, or
No,
after school?
middle, like 8th grade, 7th
Okay.
grade, middle school.
Yeah, okay.
Junior high. Junior high.
As soon as the bell would ring, I'd run out, and Bruce Clark from Pleasantville, he'd be sitting there waiting to pick me up.
Yeah. Now, Mark was telling me that Bruce is a really smart guy, like very, very good with the car, and was quite an interesting character in your family's racing.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate on that?
Well, he grew up with Dad, so I know more of the high school and screwing around stories than I do about the racing stories.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough. So tell me about Sawyer's strengths as a driver, Tasker.
He's the brains and the driver,
Okay.
so that's why he's more consistent.
Well, he didn't make the Knoxville Nationals A main.
Well, I blame
Sorry to
him.
bring that up.
He's getting technical with his car. I think he was too worried about time trials instead of just having the racing car. So I think that's what cost him.
You live in a very busy family, Ali.
Yes.
But this guy here was the first one over to your post-race incident to start working on the car last night. So, you know.
Well, because like I said, he knows what's going on, and people get a little too overwhelmed, or they see one thing and they just kind of give up. Whereas he knows how simple some of these things can be fixed. So
Yeah.
he got the ball rolling, and everybody just followed.
Well, you love it as much as you ever did. How long have you been doing this for, Sawyer?
2014 maybe.
Don't hide over there, young lady.
I
Get
started-
over here next to your man, please.
I started when I was 15.
Yep.
I raced the 305 a couple times, or
Yep.
when I was 14. And then when I was 15, they allowed me to race at Knoxville in the 305 class. That was, didn't happen until I was able to do that, fortunately. Just there really wasn't much. Like when Tasker started, there was a lot of 305 like fair races in the area.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
By the time I started, there just really wasn't that. And so to be able to start when I was 15 at Knoxville was, definitely awesome.
Well, they let you
Yeah.
start racing 360 at 15 because your birthday was coming up.
Oh, because the birthday was coming up. Yeah,
I think I
right.
hurt my 305 like a night or two in.
Okay.
It was only a couple weeks before my 16th birthday. And
You're like, come on, guys. Was that Mr. Cappy then? Was it Cappy running the place then, or who was?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
You had to go
Yeah.
out there by yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, that was
you
the,
can do it.
the 305. I had to. It was. You had to go out and test yourself, and over the radio, it's like, well, he's going straighter than half the ones out there already, so might as well let him race.
Yeah, that's cool. Can I have all of the wives here, please, for a second? Ladies, can you just come and stand over here? The light's perfect there, Ellie. You'll love it later, believe me. So, yeah, you can take... Oh, Sushi. Hey, gorgeous. So, girls, what is it like being a part of this fun-loving but lunatic bunch? Because I imagine life is never boring for you.
No, it's never boring.
One thing to the next. You farm, you race, you farm, you race. You just
Yeah.
keep going in a circle.
Family, farm, go fast. Pretty well. So, were you guys all race fans before you got to meet these boys? Nope. Nobody was. Really?
My parents were, but I never went to races growing up.
Never.
So when you first saw the R-Dog, what did you think when you're like, dang? Or were you like, oh, he's all right?
Oh, I don't know. I guess all right.
He didn't like blow your mind straight away, like, ooh, that farm boy?
Well, we met at Old Man Basketball when I was back on college break. He didn't know at the time that I was college.
Checking him out?
Yeah, I was a freshman in college, and I just was back in winter break, and we met at basketball and
Yeah, right.
hit it off.
Allie?
How I met Tasker? I was a sophomore in high school, I believe. It was my sophomore summer. Met him through actual mutual friend. I didn't know him beforehand.
Yep.
just kind of talked and hit it off ever since.
Was he quiet, or was like who made the first move here? I'm guessing you did. It's just my guess that you were.
Oh,
I know
never.
that Reagan was with
Him
you.
for
Yeah,
sure.
Really?
Yes.
No, actually, no. He made the first move because he asked me if he would see me at the next basketball.
Oh, that was the move.
And that was
breaking
the
Smart,
move.
Reagan. Very good, mate. What do you think of the band here? Do you come here often? That kind of thing. Ali, so did you talk first or Tasker?
As corny as it sounds, I think I added Tasker on Facebook. And then a couple months later, he messaged me. So he technically reached out to me.
Uh-huh.
And then kind of just started talking.
So was it just like, hey, what's up? Something like that? Or was
It was
there
very
any...
subtle.
Was
It
it?
was like, oh, hey, I noticed I missed your friend request.
Oh, nice, Tasker, nice.
You know, if you ever want to talk or something, here's my cell phone number.
A BlackBerry ad or something. I've never seen it before. Because I didn't have a BlackBerry. She did. So
See
it was
how-
a good
alright.
question like, hey, I saw this. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, okay.
Either way, it worked out.
Worked out very well.
So you had no racing interest before that?
I think I went to like one or two just because of it being Knoxville and growing up close to Knoxville, but no.
Okay. Kennedy, what about you? Like, what's the connection
Yeah.
here?
So I was a junior in high school, and so I was a freshman, and he first reached out to me, and I said no for about 2 years.
Oh, denied. 2 years? She made you work for it?
I was
Wow.
going to college. I had better things to
But didn't
do.
you go to school together? Weren't you in the same class or something?
No,
or-
he's 2 years younger than I am.
Okay, right.
Yeah, so then I went.
When I first truly saw her was Algebra 2 class. That's where it all started.
Right, okay.
So we were in that same class.
So you're older than him.
Yeah, 2 years older.
Cougar.
Yep.
So yeah. Then I went to college, and I realized I kind of liked the boy at home.
Yep.
So we started dating when I was.
Aw, that's
freshman
pretty
at Iowa
cute.
State. Yep.
So how do you all go? Stand together, please. And you two over here, Mum. Jump in over here, please, because you are the first of the Phillips first ladies.
Oh, okay.
So how do you go watching them race? I mean, does it make you nervous? Are you all okay with it? I'll ask you first, Candy. You?
Yeah, I get nervous, but more of a competitive nervous. I try to trust the safety equipment. I try to trust him and keep
Yeah.
himself out of danger. But yeah, I'm such a competitive person that's what causes my nervous more than anything.
Well, and
Alan?
you want something so bad, you know, because you know how bad they want it, you want it. That kind of what the nerves come from.
Okay.
Yeah, I was always pretty nervous, but Knoxville is where Rager did most of his races when we
Yeah.
started dating, and they have such a great safety setup, one of the best around, so I was never too afraid. But now that he's out of the car and it's the other boys, we have a chat all the time, the girls and I do, you know, like, oh, is he out of the car? How's he doing? You know, because I listen or watch on TV, so.
Yeah. Mum, how do you deal with all this?
It's been hard.
Yeah.
I'm always nervous. I'm always glad when it's over. I mean, I enjoy racing a lot. A lot of times I don't eat during the day
Yep.
till afterwards because I'm too nervous. I get really.
Yeah.
But I don't tell them that. Now they know.
Now they're hearing
Your
it.
secret's
Yeah,
out.
I understand. Tasker and Sawyer, come back over here, please. And our dog as well, if you're not too busy with your little... Good luck. You can roll over here too. So, what was it like? Suddenly, there was lots of pressure, there was lots of focus. You guys are a pretty quiet, private family. Is that a... Don't hide down the back. Get over here. You know this question's about you as well. So, you're a pretty private family, right? You do your own thing out. Hi, beautiful. Hi. Aww. So, suddenly the spotlight's on big time. And you were like, I want to go and play golf, and I can't play golf anymore. And you're like, whinge, right? Did that change things? Like, was it as much fun still?
That was probably the most wore out I've been at nationals, and I did less racing, less car working, and
Too much thinking?
too much peopling.
Too much peopling?
mental.
But
That's a good with peopling. Is that a,
We like to keep a low
Yeah.
profile around here.
yeah.
Hats down, go to work, and go home.
Now, you said to me the other night that when the boss says you can go racing, you can go racing.
yeah,
The boss is just there.
yeah,
So it's farm first, right? Family first, then
Ish.
farming,
ish.
right?
She likes racing.
Thank God, right? Thank God. Otherwise, you wouldn't get to. You're such a beauty. How do you get time to do both? Like, how do you make that all happen?
There isn't enough time to do both.
Yeah.
She'll leave your butt at home. There was one time after the Nationals, that was probably like my 5th or 6th year, they used to race down in Bethany, Missouri.
Yep.
And we had issue with the motor, and it was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, the day of the race. And Mom walked out, we kind of threw in the towel. It was like, yeah, we're not racing that or whatever. She kind of did well, if you guys aren't going, I'm still going racing. Like, either get your shit together
Yep.
or sit at home. So it was just kind of funny how she kind of lit a fire under our butts to go racing that night. But
That's cool.
she's just as much of a driver as anybody, so don't let that fool you.
All the girls are nodding away just there. I love this family. You're such a great story, and you're such an important part of the fabric of sprint car racing in Knoxville. And I know you don't like the spotlight, but I'm really glad that you are in it because you're important to it in so many ways. Not just because you got like beautiful ladies and stuff that are in the sport as well, and you're all very, what is it? Outkick my coverage? Is that the term that Americans use a lot?
By far,
You've
yes.
all, including that guy, outkicked his coverage. I hope you stay in this for a long time longer. Is that what the plan is? You're still going to be doing it for a bit?
Yep. I mean, just as long as
Mum lets you.
time allows you to.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest challenge. It's so good to see. Yeah, I knew you would say that. Yeah, as long as the money holds out. You'll just hide it, right?
No,
Surely you're the accountant.
I do the books, yes, but yeah.
It's good to see all you guys. I can't wait to see what you do next year. And when you get in the big show next year and he has to work on your car. And when are you racing again? Suit fits. Apparently the suit
Hey,
fits.
suit fits next year.
I'm not even going to ask why you tried that on. Just a little photo shoot maybe.
There was. I've got some on my phone. I can show you later.
She seems like the wild one of you three. I don't know, Rega. Really? Allie? No, Allie's
think
quiet.
so.
Allie's
No.
quiet. I remember that. So season's done. Or are you racing somewhere else? Spencer or something? Or
Plan on going to Houston's. I mean,
Yep.
I tore up a car last week, so it's kind of race by race. Going to Houston's this weekend,
Yep.
and got to go to the race in Spencer on the 13th
Okay.
just for honor motor supply purposes. But
Yep.
just race by race for me.
Tasker?
Well, if he gets his motor back and doesn't need mine, then I'll probably go to Spencer. And then their Sprint Bears got 2-day show. Probably the week after, we're going to start picking. So we'll see. We'll
Yep.
see if the combine's running that night or not.
Okay.
June.
Hi, June. Hi. Hi, little June bug. You're so beautiful. Phillips kids playing in the dirt, right? Didn't hurt any of these guys.
Nope.
Well, we should say hi to the girls
We're
as
with
well.
Tyler, and then Tyler was leading them around with the drone.
Like Peter Pan kind of thing. That's
Pretty
cool.
sure one of them had sticks trying to get it.
Not your kids.
Oh, never.